Hey guys, happy whatever day of the week it is at this
Happy
point.
Thursday. Good
There you
morning.
go. Good morning. Listen, we're on the other side and still in the middle of an election, and so many I know are struggling right now. But I want to just say this: is God has created each of us individually to be uniquely powerful in our lives. And the definition of powerlessness is trying to be powerful where you have no power. And so if you're feeling powerless right now, we just really felt led to dive into kind of unpack a little bit for y'all. What is the core part of our culture here at Arise, which is these words: equip, empower, and release.
So I just want to give a tiny bit of history of how even we received those words. I would say it was probably 15 years ago, right? When we were still in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And we were digging in and asking the Lord for just kind of the core of our lives and what we're supposed to do here on this earth.
Yeah, kind of like, what are we willing to die for?
Yeah.
Like every one of us has stuff that we're supposed to give our lives to and die for, but what is it? Like, I don't want to waste my life on random stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, and at that point, we felt like the Lord gave us these three words: equip, empower, and release. And we're like, wow, that sounds amazing. It's like, what does this mean?
Well, and it was really kind of funny because at that point we'd equipped some people, we'd empowered zero and released even less.
Yes. So we had no clue. And I feel like for the last 15 years, we have been on this journey of discovering with the Lord and practically trying things and doing a lot of R&D. Or what does it mean to equip, empower, and release?
I think one of the great things was when we came back off the mission field and we plugged into an amazing body, Riverstone. I feel like we got this heart, like, what do we need to be equipped? What would we need to be empowered? And and how do we want to be released? Like, what does that look like? And because a lot of times in churches and in organizations, government, businesses, we can be so focused on getting it done that we miss the bigger picture of the why and where are we going.
And so with the bigger picture of the why too, I feel like I have to kind of paint the big global picture. Probably also about 15 years ago, we heard this prophetic word from Bob Jones about the billion soul harvest that's coming and this amazing revival that's about to hit the earth. And we really latched onto that word, and we were like, we really believe that we're here on this earth to be a part of that move of God. And so we started pressing into the Lord and asking, what would it take for the church, for the body to be ready for that influx of billion people coming to the Lord? And we really felt like everyone needed to be in their place and walking in their destiny for that to happen.
Well, and part of it too is I was raised in kind of the remainders of the Jesus People movement, and that we were both involved in the middle of the massive revival that swept the former Soviet Union in the 90s. But we watched something. Just because there's a massive revival, just because there's a massive harvest, doesn't mean the harvest remains. And so our heart was, what does it look like for people coming to know God and staying connected in community and growing in that? How do we create a culture where that happens?
Yes. So when we planted Arise, that has become our biggest thing that we have gone after for the last 5 or 6 years, right? Is figuring out what does it mean. So equip portion, I feel like, was fairly straightforward. I feel like for ourselves, like when we were still in Russia and we got into the supernatural, we have gone hardcore after grabbing any tool we could find. When people would teach us how to pray for healing, we would use it. And then we would turn around and start giving away those tools, how to pray for healing, how to hear God's voice, how to prophesy, how to walk in the supernatural, how to walk in health, right? So we would grab all these tools. And part of our heart is to give out those tools to anyone who wants them, right?
Freely receive, freely give.
Like equip part is super easy. Like that's what we do with Facebook Lives. That's what we do with prophetic lives. We're equipping the body, right? It's like completely free.
Yeah.
And like no obligation on the other side, right?
And that's why we had Robbie Dawkins in. He taught us, he equipped us how to share the gospel, how to bring heaven to earth where we are. And so, it's about gaining the tools to say yes to Jesus at any point, at any time, and in any way.
So equip part is just getting tools, and it could be equipment could be in the supernatural, but could be in the natural, right? I mean, we equip our children's ministry, right, with snacks and crafts, craft supplies, and just whatever else, trainings for every different area.
I would say another equip is equip us with the gospel itself. Equip us with an understanding of who God made us to be. And one of the things we do with equipping is truth and lies, teaching us what's a lie and what's true, and how do you get rid of a lie so you can receive the truth of how God sees you, how God has made you, and how God's empowering you. But the thing is just being equipped is not enough. It's not enough because, and we've all been in this spot where we're like, put me on the field. Come on, put me in the game. I want to do something. I want an opportunity, because just because you're equipped doesn't mean you actually know how to do it. And so you need an opportunity to walk in what you've been equipped to do and have actual practical experience. But here's the big one, in the midst of a feedback loop. Right? Just because you learned on the internet how to do something doesn't mean it's going to turn out well.
Yeah. So, and this is where we ran into a very practical portion of the whole empower thing, is that we personally can only empower people in the place where we have power, right? So I can only empower people in the organization that I lead or in an area that I lead, right? I cannot empower you in your church if you are not part of Arise, right? I cannot necessarily empower you. I can equip you with tools, but I cannot empower you. I cannot give you the microphone. I cannot give you a place to happen or a place to lead or a place to do stuff outside of my area of power.
And my area of authority. But likewise, I can't empower you if you don't give me the power to empower you.
So I have a handy dandy example here. Let's see if I can get it without destroying our setup.
How intriguing.
Ooh, it's a power strip, right? So the whole empower, okay, where are we here?
No.
So you can be a lovely lamp.
Very lovely.
Very lovely.
You're equipped. You're created as a lamp.
Yes.
You are lampful.
You're very lampful. You are ready to shine. But unless you are plugged in, right, into the power strip, you will remain a lovely lamp that is absolutely useless. Let's see if I can do it.
Whoa, let there be light.
So this is the whole portion of the empower, right? You have to plug in. You have to connect. You have to get into a relationship to be empowered.
Come on. But notice this power strip has a bunch of spots on it. We would submit to you that for us, leadership in Arise is not to do tasks, not to
so it's not
do
to
ministries.
Be necessarily a lamp, right?
Yeah, because a lot of times we've been taught that this is what being a leader is. Follow me. No, the goal in Arise, if you're leading, is to equip, empower, and release. In other words, to be a power strip that people can plug into and be powerful. It's a different perspective. But again, our goal is not to do tasks. Our goal is to equip, empower, and release people for the sake of the coming harvest.
So once someone is empowered,
and what does that mean?
Yes.
It means they're coming into a relationship with someone who is
Leading
giving them an opportunity to rise up, giving them feedback. Listen, it's not empowerment if there's not a feedback loop. You have circuit breakers in your house for a reason. Things go south, boom, right? You need feedback like, hey, don't do that. That's a little scary, right? Oh, that would be better if you did this. Feedback loop, right? But eventually you should be rising up to help lead in that area, right?
Yes. So definitely,
becoming a power strip of your own, creating opportunity for other people to shine.
Other people to rise up, right? So that's what we are pressing into.
Right, is to see this idea of leadership, again, of not being awesome, not making, but making room for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final piece of that is, if you're rising up, our goal then is to release you, right? You've been equipped, you've been empowered, right? You've learned how to walk in this in the middle of community, learn how to walk. We want to release you. And so what does that mean? So we have this thing called a one-pager in Arise. And what it is it's this long, I don't know, it's like 20 questions where you fill it out. And it's to help you think about, what's the vision of your life? What are you called to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And then we'll sit down with you and we'll go, is this a thing that happens in Arise, or does it happen out in the world? Is it a business? Is it a ministry? What is it? How can we help you? I found a lot of times there are people called to business and they'll come to us with a ministry idea. And we're like, no. Because they're ashamed that it's a business. Business is a call.
So even though we can bless you and cheer you on, we are not necessarily going to be able to empower you in your business.
Right. Does that make sense? It's your business. And likewise, we've had people come in, we're like, that's an amazing idea. Would you like it to be something that equips, empowers, and releases someone? Or is this something you want to do as a ministry? And they're like, no, it's something I want to do as a ministry. Then we'll bless you to do it. We'll let you share about it with our body, but it's going to be your ministry. Why? Because we're committed to equip, empower, and release. And we're going to bless you. We're going to give you the ground to run and go for your dream. We want to create communities like within Arise. We have a business Arise community where business people come together and encourage each other and strengthen each other.
So, but also we have, way to I guess grow in responsibility.
A path to promotion.
Path to promotion, yes. So a path to promotion is you first connect, right? Connect to the body, meet people, connect to a leader, connect to an area where you want to serve. And so you serve first. People just knew how easy it is to get promoted in our culture if you are humble, if you come in low, if you just say, oh my gosh, I'm willing to do anything. We're like, oh my word, like you are on the fast track to promotion here. Like you're about to become a leader if you want it.
Come on. Well, and the reality is what was the path of promotion for David? He served Saul, right? He served others, he served, and that's really the path to promotion. But a lot of times, many of us have learned in other cultures, if you serve, then you actually get passed over by the people who are self-promoters. And that's not our culture at all.
So once you serve, then we would really encourage you to lead in that area where you've been serving, to lead an area, which leadership always is authority. We always say that with authority comes responsibility. And equal
responsibility, equal authority.
And you can only have as much authority as you're willing to take responsibility. So that's the balance of empowerment, right? So it's not just like, oh my gosh, go do whatever you want. It's like, well, if you want to, like, there's probably going to be an admin piece to what you're going to do.
What? No, I'm an idea person. I just have ideas. No, very dangerous to have ideas in Arise, because a lot of times you're telling us what God's put on your heart. And we're going to figure out ways to empower you in that, if you've been allowed to be equipped and empowered already.
So then once you lead in that area and have demonstrated that you are humble and that you have a teachable heart and that you're connecting to our culture, that you're expressing our culture, you're walking in it, then there is an opportunity to come to us with your idea or with your area that you want to develop, on your own or from scratch, and want to release and empower other people in it.
Come on. But I want to say this. If you're not part of Arise, I see a number of you guys are a long distance for sure. This is true. We really believe this equip, empower, and release principles are written throughout Scripture. This is what Jesus did, right? Jesus walked by and he said, hey, follow me. And he equipped them. Then he empowered them. He said, hey, pray for, do this. Then he sent them out. He released them. There's this. And then he he went away and let them go. This equip, empower, and release. But oftentimes we want to jump to the end where we're released because we're afraid of leadership that has hurt us. Listen, if David could walk his journey out with a Saul, you and I can with the Sauls in our life. Daniel could walk it out with a Nebuchadnezzar. We can walk out with our Nebuchadnezzars. Listen, we trust God, not other people. Why is this so important right now? Because right now in this environment, this political environment, the voices are screaming powerlessness. And the only antidote to powerlessness is being powerful, which means being empowered by God. So if you're with us right now, if you got questions, put those in, but I want to lead us in a little activation. Let's just take a moment. If you're just feeling stuck, you're feeling powerless, let's just take a moment. Father, show me how you have equipped me. This is exactly what we did 15 years ago. We sat down, God, where are you equipping me? Where are the skills that you've given me? Where's the graces that you've given me? Where are the passions you've given me? Where are those areas? And you'll just start to see them coalescing into dots coming together in certain areas. Oh God, what are the things that are burning on my heart? Grab hold of those things. Now the second question, God, where would you want to see me empowered in baby steps in that today? Where's an area or a community? Where's relationships? Where's space where I can be empowered? You know, if you're called to start a business, probably you should mentor, you should apprentice under someone else who's doing a business. Even if they do it wrong, you're going to learn from them. Lord, show me how, where you want to empower me. And Lord, show me where you're eventually going to release me. So for the joy set before me, I'm willing to go through the equipping and the empowering. Maybe you're back in the equipping and you're just realizing, oh my gosh, if I really want this, then I need to gain this skill. You know, if we were going to do a church, I needed to learn to do a website. I needed to learn how to do video. I needed to learn administration. 2011, Masha gave me the worst prophetic word of my life. She looked at me and she said, I just see the word supernatural administration over you. And I said, I rebuke you in Jesus' name. Because to me, administration was an evil word. Because I'd seen administrators shutting down moves of God. What I didn't understand is that without administration, the move of God isn't a move of God, it's an ooze of God, right? There needs to be administration, but I didn't understand that. I needed to learn that. That was part of my equipping piece. Whatever it is, you can be powerful if you're allowing God to equip you, if you're allowing God to show you where to be empowered. And listen, again, that's a relational piece. I can't say it enough. Empowerment is always going to be relational. It's not, I empower myself. And then the release piece. In due time, he will lift you up. Listen, if we lift ourselves up, it's never good. But in due season, he will lift us up.
But we can position our hearts to be lifted up, right? If we come in low, if we come in like, I'm willing to help, I'm willing to serve. As a leader, I'm like, wow, you just became my favorite person. You've moved to the top of the list. Like, how can I serve you? And this is our heart.
Yeah.
Like, right, as leaders and in the whole.
That's all we live for. We live for is to give power away, to empower people. Exactly. But likewise, you don't want to give away power to people who are going to abuse other people or not know how to use it.
Yes.
So the first thing is, how can I serve? Here's the second thing. And Jeremiah has been a great example of this with Anne, is when we do something, how can I do it better? Show me how to learn. Asking for feedback. Ask what can I do? That's the equip piece. Empowerment. How can I learn? What can I learn? Is that. And then the final thing is, if you want to be released, how can I bless? Because our gifts and calling are not for ourselves. This is not narcissism. Our gifts and calling are always for other people. And if it's only about you, God's not going to be able to promote you. Straight up. That selfishness, that egotism, that narcissism, just nasty, right? But so the three questions you want to ask: God, where can I serve? God, who can I give me good feedback? Listen, you know the sign of good feedback? Sometimes it hurts. It's not good feedback if they're like, you're amazing.
Well, sometimes it is.
It is, but if it's only that,
yes.
Likewise, if it's only you suck, that's also not good. We need a mix. God, where can I serve? God, who can give me feedback? And then finally, who can I bless? Come
All right.
on. Well, listen, love you guys. We'll monitor this feed. You got questions, whatever. But I can't say it enough. If you're feeling powerless today, the answer is to become powerful in the areas God's empowering you. Love you all.
guys.
Take care.